All right. There we go. Okay. Da, 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 da. There we go. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Big John, and welcome to another episode of the Diz Ability Show live. All right. This week, I want to talk about pool tips. Now, as we discussed last week, it is summertime and in Florida, that means it can get really hot. So, it's a good idea in the middle of the day at like what we do after we have lunch and do things at the little start of the afternoon is leave the parks midday, say after you've had your lunch, and do a ride or two. Go back to your hotel and use the pool because that's what they're there for. And all Disney resorts have at least 2 pools. The big family pool, which have a whole lot going on, like guest games, and depending on the type of resort you're at, a water slide. And then there's the quiet pools that are hidden in the corners of the hotel, and they are perfect for those with noise and sensory issues. So, but of course, if you're in the parks on a super hot day, leave after like lunchtime, go back to your hotel, and use the pool. So, anyway, that's my tip. As always, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the chat if you're watching this live or in the comments if you're watching this later, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. Excuse me. Excuse me. Whew. And now it is time for this week's Top 5. So, Epcot's World Showcase is great. Thank you, Quantum Parallel Productions. I appreciate that. As I was saying, Epcot's World Showcase is amazing. And because it's going around the world without actually going around the world. So this week, we are going to cover my top 5 World Showcase pavilions. Number 5. Oh, hi, Double Barrel Music. All right, number 5, the UK Pavilion. This is a very quaint little pavilion. It's wonderful. Some great shops that my mom always likes to go in. Hi, Caprixon. Did I say that right? Make sure you subscribe. As I was saying, the UK Pavilion at Epcot is wonderful. Wonderful shops that my mom likes to go in. Happy birthday, Charles Keene. I mean, I'm okay with Metallica. Anyway, but on the subject of music in the UK Pavilion at Epcot, there is a band called Charles Keene. This channel is about doing Disney for people with disabilities. So if you're a big Disney fan, I recommend subscribing right now. As I was saying, in the UK Pavilion at Epcot, there is a band called Command Performance, and they do great song covers of great British rock songs. I did a video of them a couple years ago. They did "Boys Are Back in Town," and I forgot what the name of that last one was, but I appreciate that, Charles Keene. Let's not get political here, okay? All right. Anyway, number 4, the Japan Pavilion. Now, this is a very another quaint pavilion. They have there is a shop that has a whole lot of Japanese items. What's my favorite pin? Well, glad you asked. If you look up there, Charles, right there, those are pins of the citizens of Hollywood that used to be at Disney's Hollywood Studios. They are my pride and joy, and proof of how much I miss the citizens. Wow, indeed. Oh, hang on. All right. There we go. Uh, Technical difficulties. Glamorous job live streaming. As I was saying, the Japan Pavilion is wonderful. And it has a shop of a whole bunch of Japanese products, including some anime stuff and Nintendo characters. But of course, as we know, Nintendo is now in a land and in that new park across the street, which I may or may not be going to next year. And of course, in the Japan Pavilion, there's the mariachi drummers. Charles Keene, my name is Big John, and this is the Big John Network. And one of our favorite restaurants is the Tepanito, or as I like to call it, Dippin' Cheetos. But yeah, it's a fun pavilion. I was a bit, Charles King, but right now I'm mostly talking about Disney. But yeah, there is a Nintendo Land now in the new Universal Park. Yeah. All right, number 3, the France Pavilion. So years ago, this wouldn't be in my top 5, but now that it's become more popular with Ratatouille, I think it is because Ratatouille is a fun ride, and I think it's something that pavilion needed. Don't get me wrong, the France Pavilion was beautiful, has always been beautiful. Charles, I think it depends on the tickets, on the price, on the type of tickets you get. Number 2, the Italy Pavilion. Now this is another great pavilion. They got some one cute little shops. Sergio, the Italian mime, performs daily. And as some of you may know, I'm a huge pizza guy. So Via Napoli is one of my favorites. Some of the best authentic Italian in the world. And my number 1 World Showcase Pavilion, Caprixen spoiled it for all of you, the American Adventure. Now, this is the hub of the World Showcase, and it's great. It has the American Gardens Theater, where during the festivals they have big concerts, and during the Festival of the Holidays, the Candlelight Processional. There's the Regal Eagle Smokehouse, and of course, the big reason of the American Adventure, my pals, the Voices of Liberty. Beautiful a cappella American music. Hey, Charles, there's no problem with only two people watching. Not at all. Just but hey, invite your friends, especially your friends who love Disney. So let me know in the chat or in the comments what your favorite World Showcase Pavilion is at Epcot. And now it is time for Diz or Dat. So on both coasts, Soarin' is spectacular. At Disney's California Adventure, it's soaring around the world most of the year, except for during their Food and Wine Festival when it's converted to the OG Soarin' over California, which as we all know, is the best one. And at Epcot, it's soaring around the world year round, except a couple years ago during Disney 100 when it was converted into soaring over California for a short period of time. So let me know in the chat or in the comments which version of Soarin' you prefer. Diz soaring over California or Dat soaring around the world. And now it's trivia time. All right, last week we asked what were Mickey Mouse's first words. One of our loyal viewers, Patricia Dawson, gave us the correct answer. I'm gonna say it in the try doing the voice. Hot dog. So congratulations if you knew the answer at home. So now here is this week's trivia time question. What is the name of the high school in High School Musical? Be the first one in the chat or in the comments with the correct answer, and you will receive 100 cool points. So, right now we have a lot of news to go through. First of all, I think to establish the elephant in the room, today is the last day of Muppet Vision 3D at Disney's Hollywood Studios. I saw this show for the very last time back in February. Whenever we went to Hollywood Studios, we always made it a goal. We always made it an important necessity to see Muppet Vision 3D. Charles Keene, that is correct. 100 cool points for you. As I was saying, we always made it an importance to see Muppet Vision every time we went to Hollywood Studios. And back in February, we saw it for the last time. Back in D23, they announced that a Monsters Inc. land was coming to Hollywood Studios, and it is going where the Muppet area is. So today is the very, very last day of Muppet Vision 3D. And Pizza Rizzo, I will miss that very, very much. And I did film my last experience there, so you might want to do some scrolling after this. But that's not all. Also, this week, Disney has announced more details of the new Cars area that is coming to Frontierland at the Magic Kingdom. So, first of all, Tom Sawyer's Island, the Liberty Bell, and the Rivers of America will be closing on July 6th, aka my mom's birthday. But Disney showed in new concept art that there will be some new water features in this new Cars area called Piston Peak. And it's going to feature a character that is a tribute to an old Disney character, a park ranger from the Humphrey cartoons with Donald Duck. And it's great, and I am looking forward to that new rally racing attraction. I know for a fact that is going to be awesome. And also, Disney announced the other day that the over at the Disneyland Resort, a new pedestrian bridge and expansion of downtown Disney, and over at Disney's California Adventure this fall, they're going to start construction on Disney's very first Coco attraction that is set to be open either next year or 2027. And also, they announced that Disney's California Adventure's upcoming Avatar Land will be in the backlot area of the Hollywood Land, where Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue is. And according to speculations from Jack over at DSNY Newscast, is that the figures from Mike and Sully, Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue might be taken over to Florida for their Monsters Inc. land for their upcoming suspended coaster with the doors. So yeah, a lot of news this week. And it's going to be a hard day at Hollywood Studios with all I can picture the long crowds now as Muppet Vision 3D prepares to take its final bow. R.I.P. Muppet Vision 3D. R.I.V.B. So anyway, that's our show. As I said, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the chat if you're watching this live, or in the comments if you're watching this later, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. For this week's shout-outs, make sure you guys check out Tanya, a.k.a. That Crazy Disney Lady. She does great live streams from the parks. Definitely check her out. Also, make sure you guys check out my buddy Beth over at Beth's Disney Adventures. She's been doing more live streams lately from the parks. I think she's finally moved. I don't know if she has, but she has been in a move from St. Augustine to somewhere closer to Disney. But yeah, definitely check her out as well. Also, make sure you guys check out Nate, a.k.a. Paging Mr. Morrow. He has been doing some vlogs from Disneyland Paris. Lucky. Definitely check him out. Also, make sure you guys check out Matt and Goo over at Goo to You. They also do great live streams from the parks. Definitely check them out. If you haven't subscribed here yet to the Big John Network, what in the Walt Disney World are you waiting for? And ding the bell for notifications so you never miss a second of the fun. And until next time, may the mouse be with you.